Hi, I'm Rob Lyon, and welcome to Pacific Passive House. It's March 18th, a beautiful spring morning here in Cobble Hill, and we're about to dig a hole. That's right, our first passive house. Let me flip the camera around and show you the site. So I've got about 30,000 board feet drying there for almost 2 years. Cedar and fir, that'll be used on the interior and exterior. A bit lower than we thought, the bank's a bit steeper, so we're going to have to drop it down in elevation about 2 feet. And that means cutting away this bank a bit and lowering it down to good bearing ground. Dropped everything down about 3 feet. Cut the bank away here. Widened up the front where the house is going to be. Go down about 6 feet. And we go down 11 feet to get to the basement level. A bit more to go. And you can see all these little orange circles. That's our level. So once we hit ground and we've got it to the right grade, I put a little mark on it, and he uses that to gauge as he's going. So we've taken down the driveway about 3 feet and lowered the house, and we can see here a lot of earth has been moved. We are now sitting this level spot right here where the excavator is. We've got 1.5 feet more to go down, but we're just going to remove the rest of the dirt and then we'll do the fine scraping. So from the top of the highest point in the road there to the bottom of the hole is 11.5 feet. So I've got a 9-foot basement height with a 10-inch footing and an 18-inch floor joist. So that puts me at just around 12 feet would be the height of the house, and I'll probably end up coming up another 4 inches in concrete. You can see here now the site is fully excavated, and we started the footings today, and we got a fair amount done. We are 2/3 of the way finished on the footings, and we've got this little piece left that was soft in the bank, so we had to dig that down. So this fast foot is a high strength tarp-like material that you lay inside. It allows you to form your footings just like we did here with a 2x4 up high, 10 inches high, and get it perfectly level, and then the bag just lays in. And the most important thing is that creates a vapor barrier between your footing and the concrete and the ground. Like we've got our pads in for our columns to come up, 5 columns, and that's the extent of the deck, 16 feet out from the house. There's a detail on the dowels, so they go underneath and get tied to the rebar. This is all 5/8 inch rebar, and then these dowels stick up just over 2 feet. Footings are all poured. Everything is on schedule. Those are the pads for the posts to support the deck that comes out 16 feet off the front of the house right here. And here we have our footings. The fast foot fabric bag worked awesome. I highly recommend it. It goes in very fast. It allows you to make your footings perfectly level without any shoveling or digging, and just adds that vapor barrier around your concrete as well. Just a beautiful system. All the uprights in place. That pour took from 12:30 until 2 o'clock, and we were done. Here's our first course of quad lock, starting in the corner of the garage. So this is a 7 1/8 here on the outside insulation with an 8-inch cavity for concrete and a 3 1/8 inch block on the inside. This is a T-junction. It shows the how you connect it together. And this is the inside wall of the garage. Now remember, this cavity the garage is in gets filled with sand because that goes all the way up to the grade up there and then drive in from there. So this is just for the footings. These are the ties and they hold the blocks together, the panels. They go every 12 inches. They're 4 inches across. So there's a fast point to screw into every 8 inches and then 4 inches. These steel brackets hold everything together in your corners and your T's. So this comes across here and then spans the gap and connects to the inside wall. And then same on the other side. Now the inside wall isn't carrying as much insulation. It's just holding the concrete up as a form and a bit of insulation. So I took vacation time to spend with my friend David, visiting from Nova Scotia, and we went over to Vancouver. So while I was away, they did the first course of block and they cut in all of the steps going down and got those 99% done. There's one step left we've got to finish. So there's the highest spot with 4 rows, and then we're 3 rows. So that part of the step brings us right up to ground level and level with the rest. And we got one more row here on this back wall to go up all the way to the other side. So a lot of people asking about this little 2 walls together. So I should tell you that is the stairwell coming down from upstairs down to the basement, and then it will turn to the right into the room over here, the great room in the basement. There's just gonna be one big open space there. So here we are looking down inside the wall, and we've got 2 rows of rebar and it's tied to the vertical just on the ends and in the middle. So I'll show you this corner because it's not a 45, it's a 30, and it's a custom corner. So we have these brackets. Now you put that on the outside edge to stop the pressure from the concrete as it pushes out. That ties that corner together. On the inside edge, you don't need a brace or a bracket because the pieces come and the concrete pushes, they go together and push against each other, and the compression holds that corner tight together. On the columns, and then here is the door out the back. So you can see we've got, that's 3 feet and another 3 rows, but we're going to pour it halfway and then carry on up past into the second floor for the second pour. Coming along very nicely. So it's tall enough now that I can't even show you inside. So this is our bracing system, and it includes scaffolding so we can walk around and build up as we go. After we do this pour, we take the bottom, these are called zonts, and they attach to the ICF right down there, and another one up there. Then you put a 2x4 whaler horizontally, and then a 2x4 vertically, and that's what you use to straighten your wall with. And then you put these braces at the top, and those have a turnbuckle right here. You can adjust the turnbuckle to better angle, and that'll push it in and pull it out. So let's go over here. So we are 7 feet tall. This is the back, the low part of the house. We've got a little ramp built and a ramp down going in. So all of our vertical steel and our horizontal steel all tied in. So here you can see the braces. So that screws into the ICF. Your 2x4s sit on top, and then your other 2x4 goes in here. And then this is a wedge, and you just twist it tight, and that crimps that 2x4 and pulls everything in tight. And that is all the bracing you need. So these ties, every 8 inches along and every foot vertically, hold that wall together. Today's pour day. There's pump. Cellophane on here. So we're all done, and I thought I'd just do a little more filming now that the noisy pump truck and cement truck is gone, and show you a few things. Here's a mistake we made. This is a 7-foot high wall. It's at the back, and at the very bottom we've got a step here, and it wasn't exactly 1 foot. It was 14 inches, so we had to rip a little piece in the bottom, and we put it in to bring it up the height. Started a 1 foot panel, and the little knobs on the top and this panel is the only thing holding it together. We thought that would hold, and it didn't. So it's bowed out, and it was about to break. So we quickly drilled a few holes and drove some rebars in and put some boards and wedges, and that held it all in place. So lesson learned on that. When you're bringing your footings up to height, you've got to do substantially more, enough of a starter piece to put a tie in, and that would have held that together. So the ties weren't in the very bottom piece. And these are now solid walls. So these are filled right up about 10 inches from the top, all vibrated. So that little bit at the bottom that started to bend out a bit, not a problem, because it's so far down it's going to be filled with sand. So this is a close-up of the window buck. These 2x4s here are temporary. They're there just to seat it so that it sits flat and doesn't fall down inside. They hold it up. Of course, it'll get screws that go through here and through here. These are the 9-inch screws I got to span this and go into the side of the buck, and then the buck stays permanently and the window is mounted in here. These other braces, cross braces, are to keep it from bowing in on the pressure of the concrete. Takes the pressure off the screws at the same time. And then these verticals, same thing, just to hold that top up nice and flat so it doesn't bow down at all. And the concrete goes on top of that. As you see, it sits flush back in to the insulation, so there's no thermal bridge. And these holes are not for putting concrete in. The concrete is put in the side and it flows underneath, and this is where we stick the vibrator, that as it shakes the concrete it flows easier. So it'll flow and it'll come right up. As the weight of the concrete here wants to press down, when you vibrate this, it'll just bring it right up in, and then we'll just shave it. So there's 2 windows in the basement great room over there. 1 bedroom window, bedroom number 5, and then 2 more windows there on the side. Must be building bedrooms 4, 5, and 6 down, and they're unfinished. It's starting to look a little more like a house. And the windows are in place. That's all the windows for the basement. Of course, a lot of this gets backfilled, so it's only that south and west side that is open and available for windows. Today we were filling the inside of the basement with sand. Here, this is the sand that's been compacted in place here. And we now put on top of this 4 inches of XPS under slab insulation, and then another 4 inches of concrete. So that's going to take us from where we are here up just shy of that, right about there, about a 1/2 inch shy of this seam.